Well, my friends, thanks for coming. Everybody has a theory of why we're here. Why the suffering, why the difficulties, why do we see everything from the most extreme cruelty to the most sublime experiences? Well, my guides and angels have said we are a glint of our oversoul, our soul family, holding a point of focus as a human, participating in the expansion and completion of all that is. Now, expansion happens in many levels and places, and I would have to do one on that specifically. Completion also is multi-layered. Completion for the light bringers, completion for us older people who came to witness this transition that is happening. The completion for us is to understand our personal power, or understand that we can reach a point or a level of consciousness where we can observe the negative ego within us and make different choices about what the negative ego wants us to do. We come into this with all the knowledge of who we were and what we were, and it is erased in the birth experience, in the tunnel. We leave it behind. And so here we are in this density where we have to survive in order to complete an expression of our oversoul. So as a baby, we are programmed to not think that we are empowered. We are, well, maybe some of the kids are now. I'm speaking from the olden days. That we had to do certain things at certain times, and even with the support of a good family, there is still a structure that is imposed on us. And that structure disempowers us from understanding something that it takes a lifetime to come back to. And I have come back now to the point where when my negative ego brings up something that might trigger guilt or a negative feeling, I am finally empowered enough to just say no. I'm not going to believe it anymore. I've worked too hard. I've suffered too much. I've lived too long to entertain a thought that is not beneficial to me. And as Bashar said, it can happen just like that. If I could snap my fingers, I would, but I can't. It can happen just like that. When you get it, when you get that you are empowered enough to hold the perspective, to think the thoughts, to not look at what triggers you, that is a type of completion. And I feel that for some reason I've gotten the gift lately of feeling like I have completed a lot at the age of 75, and that I can kind of relax now and retire. And I wish that all for everybody. Now, you can stop the recording here, but I have been fascinated with a podcast that is From Cults to Consciousness. Now, you might think, why am I showing my mind that? Because children who are born into Scientology, children who are born into more extreme forms of Mormonism, people who are born into, there are cults everywhere. There are cults in India. There are just cults everywhere. And what this does is a little bit of what we experienced on on a minor key to being disempowered, taking away the power so that we are completely controlled by society, the people around us. And then there's octaves of that to narcissistic abuse trying to control us. I mean, every cult has a narcissist at the top. And a lot of narcissists are trying to get the control and power over people. And so from cults to consciousness is kind of extreme that these women, mostly women, some men, who have escaped and who are trying to rebuild their lives, to deprogram their programming, to feel what they are feeling. They've been taught not to feel anything, to forgive themselves for what their part in this that harmed other people. I mean, really, that podcast is brilliant, but it's describing something that we all experience as a child. We have to survive. So we go along with the programming, the circumstances that our parents are in, which is a type of their programming. And when you don't blame them, you're completely empowered. When you take complete self-responsibility for the circumstances around your birth, your childhood, your mistakes, your successes, that self-responsibility gives you the opportunity to, as Bashar says, see your negative beliefs and be able to have the power to immediately dissolve those negative beliefs. So I'd like to hear what you think about this. And I know I know that fewer and fewer people are watching my podcast, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I need to fulfill my teaching role in a non-egotistical way. So until I see you again, please be well and please be blessed. Thanks for coming. See you soon.